Ladies and gentlemen, I just finished watching The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 3, Episode 6. This one's titled Contrabando? Okay, whatever. That's the name of it. This episode was, I think it was a pretty long one, if I'm not mistaken. I forget the whole time was an hour, but that also included the trailer for the final episode and the little like end of episode thing that they do. So I don't know how long. It felt like a pretty long episode. And I think a lot of that was because for me, I think a lot of it felt pretty slow. I don't think it was a bad episode, really. I just think it was pretty slow, and I think that's been kind of my biggest complaint about Daryl Dixon Season 3 in general, is not that it's bad, because I don't, and I think the way I'm going to be shaping my review of Season 3, too, just overall, is it's not bad. It's visually very enjoyable. I am enjoying what I'm seeing. It's fun. But it's just narratively boring. Like, I'm not really interested or invested in these characters because, I mean, obviously, I know the show is ending next season. I know that these characters don't canonically matter. Like, they don't really bring anything to the table that really I value as a viewer. So there's nothing here that is really strong. The only thing for me is I like, and forgive me if I mispronounce his name, Fetty, the mayor of Solaz Del Mar. I actually really like his character, and I'm interested to see where they go, because this episode did stuff with him that is now turning him into more of a bad guy. And I like that because I do like this actor. I like the way he's portraying the character, and I like that whole side of the storyline. So that's cool. They're actually giving me something that isn't Daryl and Carol to care about, or at least be invested in. That's fun. But I still just, in general, I don't feel a sort of connection to these characters the way that I do our original crew. So a lot of this episode, it's like, for instance, when Antonio is on screen talking about his wife, which is a moment that comes later in the episode, and we're going to get into the rest of the episode and like what happens this episode. A big B plot before I even say what I'm about to say. A big B plot of this episode was Carol and Antonio and discovering more about his past and what happened to his wife and how she died and all of that stuff, and how it was a big dark thing and all of that. And though I like Antonio as a character and I'm interested to see what more they do with him as a character, I can't help but think when they cut to these backstories of him and his wife and how he was like making her be a reporter for something she didn't want to be, and she got blown up and all of that stuff, and she's crying. I'm looking at it and I'm basically like Negan from season 7, where it's like,
don't care. Where's Rick?
Like that's honestly how I feel about it. I'm not saying the story isn't good, because I do actually think it's interesting. Like, for what we're getting, it's fun to watch. But like, I know these characters don't really matter unless Antonio, which is he's definitely not, but unless Antonio is Jeffrey Grimes, I don't really care. Like, I'm not really interested. And sure, like, cool character development for Carol to like kind of be with this guy and whatever, like they kissed this episode, but I don't really care for him. He's a good character. I enjoy watching him, but I'm just like, don't care. Like, where's Alexandria? That is genuinely how I feel about it. I'm sorry. I'm not, again, for the millionth time, not saying he is a bad character. He is not. I actually enjoy him. When we cut to his scenes, I'm not like, oh, brother. Like, it's not like that. It's just, I watch it and I'm like, what's the point? You know what I mean? So that's the B plot was all about that. Essentially, it was about Roberto, Antonio, and Carol, and how Roberto started to get worse when he was recovering from being attacked by those people, and it was because Fady was poisoning him, which in turn ended up killing the cat, because the cat drank the stuff that he was supposed to be drinking that was poisoning him. So Fady was trying to kill Roberto because Roberto was essentially like traitor or something like that, and just like out against the community and all of that stuff. And obviously that brought some drama between Antonio and Fady. That brought some drama between Carol and Fady. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Which was pretty interesting. So we saw some stuff with that B plot of Carol breaking into Fady's place to get medicine to help Roberto. and how the mother kind of went from pointing a shotgun at Carol to agreeing with Carol and being like, let's save Roberto. I thought that was really interesting. I also thought it was really interesting how later in the episode, Antonio confronts Fady in front of all of Solaz Del Mar, and basically is like, he's a liar. He tried to poison my son. Are we allowed to leave? And that's going to set up Antonio to be in this shitstorm in the final episode, which obviously, for those of you guys who have seen the trailer for the final episode of this season, is going to be Carol's big arc is to save Antonio. Really fun. So that's that. That's what happened with the B plot, essentially. That was the big thing. And then the A plot was Daryl and Lady, whose name I do not know. Sorry. Go ahead. Type your shit in the comments of me not knowing characters and how unprofessional it is or whatever. Don't know her name. They go off to Barcelona together because she wants to reunite with her girlfriend who is married to the guy who rules that whole big group that they do the La Ofrenda for. And so they go off together. They go to Barcelona. They reunite with a ton of people, and they end up going through and ambushing that group where obviously the La Ofrenda girls go. And I thought that was a really interesting, fun fight scene. It was pretty cool. It was giving spaghetti western. It was giving that wild, wild west sort of vibe that I actually really admire about this season. And it was really fun to watch them infiltrate this group. And the dynamic of the girl's girlfriend was in the truck that was about to be bazookaed, which was pretty funny. But that was a pretty cool shootout, cool fight. And I even like how when the bazooka went off, it broke down the walls. The walkers came in and they added some stakes to that fight. I actually genuinely did think that was fun and enjoyable to watch. The only thing that was kind of painstaking about it is obviously Daryl's there to save Justina. And Daryl has all the keys to do so because Justina is locked in this truck that's slowly moving in neutral. I think it's because the driver was shot, so it was stuck in neutral, or just stuck like with the foot off the brake, but like obviously not foot on the gas, so it was just like kind of rolling. And as this is happening, all the walkers come in, but Daryl has all the keys. He's trying all the keys. I don't think any of them worked, if I'm not mistaken. Don't think any of them worked, but then he has a gun. He has a 1911 in his hand, and he's doing some cool things where he's like trying to unlock the door, quickly shooting a walker, trying to unlock the door, quickly shooting a walker. Thought that was cool, but in my head, I'm like, why couldn't he just shoot out the lock? I don't know how that would work. I don't know if the gun would backfire. I have no idea, but like, if you're in that dire of a circumstance and the clock is ticking, why wouldn't you just try that? Like, I get it, the bullet can ricochet. I do understand that. But it's also The Walking Dead, where we've seen some of the craziest shit, and it doesn't matter. Like, there's infinite ammo in this show. It's literally insane. Like, why couldn't we just try something like that if the keys didn't work? I don't know. So he lets Justina go in this admittedly kind of slow, like, stupid way where he's just grabbing her hand and she's like, no, don't do it. He's like, I have to. And they just slowly go like that. I don't know. And then the pan out of her like slowly rolling away with the walkers was kind of funny. It just was. I don't think, obviously, we've seen the end of that because in this episode, Daryl did say to the girl that he went with that they were going to go wherever that convoy was going next and try to get Justina back. So he didn't want to give up on her, but it was a little interesting that he did in that way. And I get it. It was a dire circumstance, all of that stuff. It's just the way they kind of showed it. It was just a little weird to me. I don't know. But obviously I know the next episode we're going to see him infiltrate and actually save Justina. I'm sure save Justina. I don't know what's going to happen. But again, the whole time I'm watching this, it just goes back to how I feel. Maybe I'm stuck in my ways. Maybe I'm like that old guy on the porch that is like those kids. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is. But when I watch this, I'm just like, I don't care about any of this. I just want to see Daryl go home. I want to see Carol go home. It's the story we all want. It's the story I'm saying every time. And I know it's one of those things, they're trying to branch out and make names for these characters who are fan favorites in the franchise. And they don't, in theory, they're trying to ship these characters in a way where you don't need Rick but you do need Rick. Like, you 100% need that character. Rick Grimes is the Dexter of Dexter. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? Like, without Rick Grimes, The Walking Dead just doesn't operate right. It just doesn't. So, like, when we're seeing Daryl in these circumstances, that the whole point of him being in France to begin with was because he was out on a mission to find Rick and he got stuck there. To see that and then go to this where we have no mention in the world of Rick ever. He doesn't ever say his name because these fucking writers refuse to share the characters' names. We refuse to really dive into Alexandria, even though they did a lot this season. They talked about Ohio. They talked about the people back at home and all of that stuff. They refuse to say the fucking name. I don't understand it. I just don't get it. And it just really is a stain on the show because there's no connective tissue. It doesn't feel canon because it's just like, honestly, it feels like DLC that isn't that good, so you don't opt to get it. It feels like Dead of the Night from Black Ops 4. How it just came out, it was a good map. A lot of people liked it. Like, it was fun to play, but it was just kind of like, but here you go. I don't know how to describe what I mean. I guess the point I'm making is it feels like DLC that is just experimental. Does that make any sense? I don't know. Like, yes, I'm watching because I hope they do something with it, but they haven't so far. I don't know when they will. I don't know if they will, because it doesn't look like this season finale is going to do much at all in the way of talking about where they go and Rick Grimes and Alexandria and the Commonwealth. It doesn't seem like they're going there at all. And apparently, I didn't see the video. I saw Movie Idol put up a video talking about how Daryl apparently didn't mention Rick's name or anything at all in a clip from the finale. And if that's the case, it just goes to show the problem. Like, I don't know. I didn't watch the video, so you guys let me know in the comments if you did. I watched like 30 seconds of it, just enough to kind of hear the gist. I'm just not understanding, like, this is in the universe where Rick Grimes, where the whole point of the show was Daryl finding Rick Grimes, right? Why the fuck aren't they mentioning the name? It's bizarre to me, and it makes episodes like this just really just pointless. Even if it's fun, even if I enjoyed it, it's more just like, why am I watching this? You know what I mean? That's how it feels. So trust me when I say, if you haven't watched this episode and you're not watching this season, you're not missing anything. Honestly, this was a fun season. It was way more fun than season 2. Season 2 was a terrible season of TV. Season 3 is visually really fun, but narratively not the best. That's the best way I could describe it. I do enjoy watching it. There's moments that are fun. It's just not good because it's not doing anything that we want. That's the biggest reason, at least in my opinion. So yeah, not a bad episode. Definitely not a great episode either. It was just boring, really, but there were great moments in it. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. I know you guys didn't agree with my last one of me not liking the episode that reminded me of Bagman from Better Call Saul. And to be fair, I did say in the beginning, I did enjoy the episode. I just, it didn't really do anything, if that makes any sense. Whatever. Anyway, with all that out of the way, start a conversation down there in the comments. Consider becoming a channel member. We have 5 right now. My goal is to get to 10 so we could start doing member shout outs on the channel. I also post exclusive stuff there too. So yeah, with all that out of the way, thank you again so much for watching this video. And until the next one, I'll talk to you later. Peace out.